have some connectivity issues on the Reddit side, as you do. So I'm probably gonna have to restart that one a few times too. But take it with me. I'm gonna go get my water filled first. Let's see if I can get it restarted. There we go. The dropped ones. Shannon, I'm like intensely thinking about you right now, friend. Your heart is with mine. I hope that we can share some good vibes today. I hope today's topic kind of inspires as well. Was another one of my meditation contemplations, I guess. Okay, second time's the charm, I hope. Oh goodness! Sorry, Reddit friends, if it went live and I dropped you. I think it actually did. I'll be back in a second. See you, friends. Love you. The dogs always look funny at me when I do that. Indeed, I think I need to do this. Indeed! And greetings unto you, beloved and holy friends. Thank you so much for joining me again, for expecting nothing, and yet heeding my expectation to give to you. Butchering it already. Basically, today's topic to me came in meditation when I was like all zen and stuff, and then Pippi was like, "What's up, dude? Give me some pets." Sup to you, Exqualax. Interesting username. And she was like, "What's up, dude? Give me some pets." And I was at first resistant. You know, I was like, "Oh, Pippi, I'm meditating right now, Pippi. You need to let me meditate." And then I was like, actually, no. Naomi, what a pleasure to see you here with me. Thank you for joining us, beloved friend. How nice to have you here. But the point I'm trying to make, and I feel like I'm butchering it already, is just this feeling, this understanding that we have entities in our existences that will expect things of us. They will, no doubt. And I know this whole space we talk about not expecting things of one another, you know, in the ultimate sense, in the sense that we expect things, and then we expect the things that we expect to make us happy when we get our expectations, right? But to understand that, to understand your depth, to understand your ability to be happy outside of your expectations, and then in that space to cater, to give, to help others with their expectations by heeding their expectations, and not only heeding to their expectations, but giving them even more than they bargained for, you know. And it's, I know it's not easy. It's not even easy to me, and I'm not suggesting that this is the way it should be. I'm just saying that this is the way it could be, you know, that when people expect things of you, and they will expect things of you, even though we know expectation causes suffering. Try and heed their expectations. You know, and I'm specifically talking about people that you allow to expect things of you. You know, like Pippi is allowed to expect things of me because she's my pet. You know, so if you have a family member, a brother or a sister, and they expect things of you, in a way, and allowed is you know, one of those words, but they're allowed to expect things of you because you're their brother. And if you make friends with someone, they're allowed to expect things of you because now you're their friend. And there should be balance. I'll give you that. Yes, absolutely, there should be balance. But just realize that as soon as you start a relationship, expectation is almost inevitable. And to, instead of lamenting about the expectations that there will be held of you, to rejoice, to take those expectations and give people even more than they bargained for. How about that? How does that feel? How does it sound? Do let me know. Sofa, sofa, sofa. You schmeck cheesy. Thank you for joining us. Love you all dearly. Melt World. That I think, weirdly enough, is one of my favorite awards. On the I like that one. That one does it for me. That one scratches some sort of itch I didn't know I had. Thank you. Grognak, it's nice to see you again, friend. Hey yo. Where's that ayahuasca you promised me yesterday? I promised you ayahuasca yesterday? Yossi, dude. Seems the weed was slapping harder than I remember it slapping if I was promising people ayahuasca on stream. Suddenly dissociates. Did I? Did I? No, I didn't. Who needs tears? So nice to have you here. Thank you for joining us. Even Yash, dude. 2 days in a row. I mean, I don't think you were here today, but you were here again, dude. Thank you for joining us. How are you doing, Brother Bear? Looking forward to spending more time with you, Shanners, Melton, every friend. I'm looking forward to it as well. We don't have load shedding today. I was like kind of panicking just before my stream where I was like, oh shit, we have a Sangha and I don't know if we have power. And then I went and checked and we do have power. So the Sangha is still on. I'm looking forward to it. I survived 2 gigs in a row. It was 90 degrees Fahrenheit, 32 degrees Celsius. I'm so glad to have a break, but the shows were so fun. I'm happy to hear that, Brother Bear. Doesn't sound, I mean, like if it's 32 degrees Celsius inside, that is absolutely brutal. I hope you have air conditioning, Brother Bear. I hope you have fans. I hope they're serving you water. I would say beers, but I guess you're too young for that. Just imagine that this dude is finishing high school. He's not old enough to drink beer. He's old enough to get drafted into the military. You know, he's old enough to go and kill people, but he's not old enough to drink beers just yet. Lane, you absolute monster, dude. Go and rock out. Thank you for tuning us in, for letting us know that it went well. Glad to hear you had the best. You powered through the heat, literally. Got you. Thank you. Grog back for the love, friend. About to head to the Lufkin Zoo. Lufkin. I'm guessing that's an actual zoo. Is it a zoo in Texas? Is it one close to where you are, Aunt B? Or are you going for a little bit of a trip? Are you taking the kids with you? Is there anybody else other than the family going alongside you? It's all the questions that I have in this moment. Share all, share none. Whatever you feel comfortable with. You good, just the way you are, buddy. Never mind, I'm just kidding. I know, Grognak, I'm kidding back with you, friend. I'm not really as crazy as I pretend to be. Let me just say that. Yes, surely, I'm crazy. But I do play it up a little bit because it's, I hope at least, entertaining. Melty is freshly shorn. Babyface. Yes, I mean, I have like some stubble because I shave with a machine, not with a razor. But yes, look at us, Jovi. We have none. Just texture at this point. You know, the hair package has been deleted and there's only a texture package left underneath. I don't know if that makes any sense. How to be friends. Maxine! So nice to have you here with me. So much love to you, friend. How are you doing? How's this day catching you? How are you catching the day? Through the heat. It was outside, kinda humid where I live. That is too toasty. Rocking out on stage was kind of tough. But we did it. You did it, dude. And here you are on the other side. Proud of you, Mad Lad Energy, Lane Main. The humidity in your vicinity. Walking outside like you're swimming. Humidity is the one thing that I can't deal with. Like, we have it hot here in South Africa, but at least it's dry heat, you know? Like, it's like 46 degrees Celsius, but it's like dry. You know, you get thirsty walking outside. When I was in China, it was like super humid as well, so it's like heat, but it feels like the heat sticks to you. It's so windy there, Melty. I kinda love hearing it. It was windy as heck here last night. Who needs tears? It's so gorgeous to me that you share that exact words, because I was just Pepe, Pepe, I was just referencing the fact that I used to be uber clinical / critical by the fact that there was wind, you know, knowing that there's going to be wind noise. So the fact that you're appreciative of the wind noise gives me some joy too. That is Gideon. It's our neighbor. One of our cattle apparently got into his place and he came to help out or to come and tell us. It's so windy there. I love the Euphrates tears. 1.5 hours to get to be exact. I think I might have missed the comment before. Well, have a picnic at the park. I love these days. Have a good time with the kids and Uncle Becky and my mama. That sounds amazing. Thank you, Auntie, for sharing with us. The Haywire Hill A team in Mr. T would be jealous. A team is in Mr. T. Jealous. I'm confused. Sofa. It's an hour or so, not bad. Good morning, loves. Maxine again. So nice to have you here with us. Molly is joining us as well. You've been so missed, my friend. Thank you for being here now. Hello, YouTubers. Miss Molly is sending you love too. Mel, the trees in South Africa look a lot like the old oak trees in southern Louisiana. That's wild. These trees? That is interesting. I don't know if you're talking about the ones in the back. They might be as well. Apparently they're problem trees because they just keep sprouting new trees underneath them. I kind of like it. It's not great if you want to keep a structured garden. Maybe that's the word. Thank you for the energy, Sofa. Joyce says, I woke up wanting a burrito so badly. My spot doesn't even open for hours yet. Do you have burritos in South Africa? Not really. You know, not like in the way that you have in America. Like, we don't have places. We probably do at this point. Like, somewhere in the city, there's going to be like a place that specializes at this point in just burritos. But we don't have the burrito culture. You know, like, we don't have the local small van that sells burritos, for example. I'm still looking forward. Like, I think I've had like 2 burritos in my life, and I've had 4 tacos in my life. I'm looking forward to actually like having some of that when I come to America eventually. Is your content monetized? Agent Be Polite? Technically, no, but also technically yes. Some of my content is monetized. Agent Be Polite. This content is completely free. Fortunately, I don't want it to be anywhere else. The YouTube is also completely free. I also want that to remain that way. But I do make daily works of art, which is not free. It is, you know, the cheapest option, if that's the way I'm supposed to say it, is $1. You can pay $1 a month and you can have access to all of my art, which I did monetize just because I need to somehow earn a living, and that's the way that I decided I'd be willing to. So that is monetized, and I do teach yoga, which technically can be seen as content, which technically is also free if you want it to be, but can also be paid for if you want it to be that way. Thank you, AGB, for asking, friend. I don't necessarily want to monetize my content, you know, particularly since I feel the content that we have here can be of benefit to pretty much anyone who is willing to take the time to listen to it. And the fact that you are taking the time to listen to it is worth more to me than any potential monetary value you could give me, right? Like, I'm more happy to know that you're here right now, Agent Be Polite, than I would be to see Agent Be Polite gave you $1 to watch the stream. You know, I'd be like, oh, Agent Be Polite gave me $1 to watch the stream. Cool. But the fact that you're here watching the stream, that's more valuable. And I hope this is how you understand what I'm trying to say. Thank you, friend. Thank you for asking. Thank you for making sure. So windy there. Big love to everyone, to you too, Gateway. Thank you for the love, friend. The tree behind you looks like antlers. Yeah. You with my nature horns. Mel, you should consider enabling Super Chat. I don't have Super Chat just yet, Yash. I think I need 1,000 subscribers or something. We'll get there when we're supposed to. You know, I like there's something in my mind that feels like maybe 1,000 subscribers is gonna be some sort of threshold, and then suddenly the whole world's gonna melt or something. You know, that's why we've been delaying it. I'm not too worried about it. I feel I actually, you know, and this is a weird place where I find myself now, where I don't don't even know if I want to say these words out loud. I don't want to grow. And you're like, what? What did Mel just say? He doesn't want to grow? I do. I promise. I'm gonna grow as a person. But I don't know if I want to grow when it comes to what we think of as growth when it comes to content creation. That's my little rant. I'm so happy. I'm so happy having you friends in these moments, having enough time to try and give you individual time. So we'll see how things go, Yash. We'll definitely see how things go, friend. Hopefully it'll take some time. You know, like 10 years. 10 years of it being exactly this way, you know, we can build a bunch of things and then we can continue to the next level. That would be amazing. Print melt with branches as horns. I don't know, you probably don't know about this, Who Needs Tears, but we have a friend, Melida, who actually, like, this was on day 64, I think. Something like that, where I was sitting in front of this tree and I had the antlers, like the angle from there has more symmetrical antlers, and then she actually drew me with these antlers. Who Needs Tears? I think you'd love it. Thank you, friend. Do you have any plants you're growing or indoor plants? Not right now, Yash, but I probably will start planting seeds soon again. It's getting a little bit warmer on this side. Thank you for asking, friend. How about you? You have something growing? And if you have something growing, what? And if you don't have something growing, what have you been smoking on? If you've been smoking at all, do let us know. I've been holding on to this bong for 20 minutes. What is our intention for smoking today? Expectations, doing as expected, meeting expectations. Expecting more. No. Expecting nothing. Allowing everything. Yeah, that feels good. To expecting nothing and allowing everything. Expecting nothing. Allowing everything. That's a tall order. We haven't even read something worth saying today. Maybe we'll do that right now. Which page will we open up to is the question. Where you are has nothing to do with the location of your body. Damn. Damn! So strong. So quick as well. Where you are has nothing to do with your body. That one takes a moment because it's like, what do you mean, Melt? But think about it. Next to this one, there's another one that goes, right where you are, practice where you are going. Decide what you want to be committed to and expand your awareness by saying, I am not what I have perceived myself to be. I am unlimited, pure spirit. Nothing is unavailable to me. Therefore, in this moment, I choose to open access to other dimensions of experience so that I may call this moment to me in a different way. This expectation to me in a different way. To see the same expectation in a different way. To be here but to be differently. Right? Man. I love that. Things worth saying. Thank you, friends, for joining me with that. I've been cultivating my indoor plants, propagating roots, very zen. It's so beautiful, right? And I don't know if this is the first time you've ever been doing it, but being able to then eventually smoke your own grown material, quite visceral as well. Can I bring expectations back to my phone? I have had zero expectations my phone is going to work again. And because of that, I feel like I have removed suffering from the situation. Who needs tears? It makes me happy to hear that. It's not exactly the same, but I deleted Facebook last night. I was using Facebook, and then I was like, bruh, I don't want to be using Facebook right now. And then I scrolled down one more time, and there was a post by a friend whose posts I admire. She's very beautifully in tune, and her posts are beautiful. But the post was, when you get rid of something that no longer serves you, you will be relieved. Something in that context. And I was like, bruh, delete Facebook. And I closed the app, and I deleted the app. And I've, like, the neurology slash pattern of going to the app is still in my brain, where I find myself doing the finger movements to go to the app. And then I get to the point where I'm supposed to press on the app, and I'm like, oh yeah. And I've done that, I think, like 1.5 times. I'll melt that pattern soon enough. But in that same way, right? That expectation has been melted away. My brain no longer has the expectation of doing a certain few actions and then finding a certain experience. So thank you, Who Needs Tears, for bringing that up in me. I hope it's serving you. Maybe spending a few days, a few weeks, a few months without a cell phone would be good for you. I'm not encouraging you to abandon your cell phone completely, but I am encouraging you to spend time with yourself. And if the lack of the phone is going to help you do that, I think it's going to be good. Thank you for making the best out of it. In the past, when I have lost or wrecked the phone, there is so much expectation wrapped in the situation, and I suffered so much, especially with, like, for me, when I lost my cell phones, and I don't know if it's the same for you, Who Needs Tears, is the financial implication of it. Like, a cell phone, especially if you get yourself a decent cell phone, is a big financial investment, and you expect to use it for a few years. So when that, pattern gets interrupted, and you have to then, dedicate a massive amount of finances again to having the cell phone, that expectation hurts a lot as well. One. And then, as you mentioned, like losing your photos is an expectation, pain, suffering. When am I going to get it again? Suffering. Am I going to be able to get my stuff back? Suffering. You get the new phone, you transfer the new things, there are things missing, things no longer the same than it used to be. Suffering. Oh, I expect things to be one way instead of another. Thank you, Nick Steers. I needed that as well right now. I appreciate that. Suffering arises from expectations that things would be differently than what they are. That's, I think, the most beautiful explanation or definition to suffering for me personally, Who Needs Tears. Suffering is expecting for things to be differently than the way they are. That is what makes you suffer. Because as soon as you're like in this moment and you're like, oh, if only things were like this, things should actually be this way. Suffer. Instant suffer. So just be here now. Stop doing that. Quick hacks for not suffering. Come back tomorrow for more tips and tricks how to human. I know you friends know this stuff as well, but it's important to remind ourselves, remove expectation, to remove suffering. It's not easy, and I think that's the joke as well, is that it's very much a process, and it's one we're actively getting better at. I don't think it's one you just are good at, especially since, as a child, your attachment is definitely a real thing. Even though as a child you learn how to not be attached to things more than anything else. Oh man, being children. I'm actively tuning into that childlike energy. I do 2 child's poses in my yoga practice before coming and streaming. And with both child's poses, I I trip out. I actively try to cultivate that giddy, boyish, childlike wonder, for the world. Suffering arises from expectation. Totally causing my own suffering by expecting too much of myself lately. Amanda, yo, like I want to read those words again. Amanda says, I'm causing my own suffering by expecting too much of myself lately. Today's whole stream topic came from this perspective that other people, your pets, will expect things of you. And because you have allowed them to be in your space, you are expected to heed their expectations. Right? Like, and this is a personal feeling I had, revelation, emotionally revealing, whatever you want to say, right? I'm not saying this is the way it is. But if I have a pet, if I decide to get a pet, this pet is going to expect me to feed it. It's going to expect me to take it for walks, expect me to give it pets. And I can't be like, no, no, Pippi, don't expect things of me. You should be all to yourself, independent. No. As soon as you bond, as soon as you become a unity with something, there has to be expectation. And to see that as an honor, to see that as a joy, to see that as an absolute blessing that you get to play the role of that expectation filler, to be able to feed your puppies, to be able to give your puppies scritches, to go for a walk with your puppy. Don't think of it as, oh, I'm gonna go take the dog for a walk. Take yourself for a walk as well while you're at it. Why not? Right? Like to make the most of these expectations. And then Amanda beautifully shares the fact that we expect things of ourselves as well. And on the most fundamental level, you live with yourself first. And try and connect that, the fact that you should be doing the expectations because you've allowed others into your life. It's difficult to say the exact same thing about the expectations you have of yourself because we sometimes expect things of ourselves that are maybe a little bit unrealistic, or not, I don't want to say unrealistic. I want to say more difficult than we anticipate. I think is better, right? Like for me, I want to build an actual city, a city where infrastructure is human based, where the way we see community, the way we see recreational areas is going to be human centric, non monetary slash exploitative, where the people are the thing that's valuable in the space, not the space or the things that you can get in the spaces, but the actual people, and to build around that as an understanding. That's the city I want to build. But to expect that of this self, to be like, Mel, why aren't you building cities already? Sure, I have that expectation of myself. I do, Hooting Steer. Still, I'm gonna do that. That is one of the things I expect of myself to do. But to expect it of myself right now is unrealistic slash mean almost. And I feel like that's the feeling slash message I'm getting from yours is be light on yourself, don't make yourself suffer with expecting too much of yourself, but realize that these things you expect of yourself are still possible even if they're not possible right now. Hmm? I hope it helps. It helps me. So much love to you, friend. Thank you for letting us share. We know how great it is to practice kindness to others, but often we need to practice kindness to ourselves. There Ash goes, all of that stuff beautifully encapsulated. Thank you for sharing that, friend. Yes, dude. The tree behind you. I think I've heard one. What you smoking, bud? We used to get Swaziland Red imported to us about 10 years ago. It was so cheap. Natural outdoor brickweed. I'd love to come and try that source one day. It can't. The space is open to you, friend. We have beds. I grow my own weed. It won't be Swaziland Red, but the weed that I've been growing is orange sherbet and iced cabbage. Yeah, those are the ones I know what strain they are. So I'm smoking on the orange sherbet right now. Thank you for asking, friend. Hopefully, I'll see you one day. I love the stream. Always seems to align with what I'm tending to my plants. So calm to care for them while I listen in. So blessed to have you here listening in as you tend to plants. Thank you for sharing that imagery, Naomi. I appreciate that. Two burritos in your entire life, four tacos. We gotta get you to the US, man. I mean, I've had a bunch of other meals. I've had more lasagna in my life than I'd like to admit, actually. Goodness, we've had a lot of lasagna in our lives. Like, like I feel, unironically, I resonated with Garfield as a child because we had so much lasagna in my life. I was like, yeah, I feel you, homie Garfield. I also, in fact, love lasagna. And I also ate Mondays. Okay, awesome. Great job. What is your YouTube? It is Meltmore, friend. You can find it. Thank you for asking. Earned a new sub. I appreciate that. Gave the all seeing upvote. Thank you, Akat, for sharing, friend. I appreciate that. I feel you're going to be rewarded tenfold. Be patient. I like that's the thing, Miss Molly. I already don't know what to do with all of the awards I've received so far. Like I'm already, please, please, universe. And now the universe is like, oh yeah, you think this is much, huh? Yeah. How about more? How about even more than that? How about more than that? Then? Even more than that. Thank you, friend. Thank you for like going through this process with me. Share the love, a few coins. Thank you. Apart, I appreciate the love, friend. Oh, thank you so much, Joy. I do have a link tree. Thank you for sharing the link, friend. What you smoking? I miss those South African land strains. It's nice to have you here, friend. Sorry for taking so long to answer your message. Sometimes I get really into something, and then I can't get out until I feel it. Is that the way that I should say it? So I imagine things as fractals in my mind. So if I'm talking about a certain topic, this whole topic has a bunch of fractals of information attached to it. So within the way that we see three dimensions, we almost see a two-dimensional representation of these three dimensions, right? Like I see this tree from a certain distance, it becomes almost two-dimensional. Like I'm seeing an image in my eyes, but it's still three-dimensional. So within my mind, ideas are five-dimensional or maybe four-dimensional, where they have fractal dimension in them, but they also intersect themselves. So as I'm inside of a fractal, I'm like I've given the analogy of almost like sentences are like paper mache that I'm putting over this three-dimensional object because it's like invisible in our realm. So I'm like putting paper mache sentences over the three-dimensional object, trying to paint you a picture so you can see what it is I'm looking at. And I can't stop until I've completed it. Until I filled it. Welcome. Welcome to my mind, friend. Thank you for asking. It's nice to have you here. Also, Melty, I just placed the order for my Laughing Tiger t-shirts. Can't wait till you see the one I made for you, friend. I can't wait either. Maxine. So, friends, Maxine is going to start making some clothing. I look forward to seeing it. I'm probably going to be wearing some of it on stream, especially on my dancing streams. I can already see it. Cost to expect, Amanda. If you mind sharing, thank you for asking who needs tears. I just have too much going on, tears. Hoping the new psych meds will help. I'll see my doctor tomorrow. I hope so as well, Amanda. I know that you're strong enough to do this because you're strong enough to be here, right? You've been strong enough to live your whole life. So I'm 100% sure you'll be strong enough to continue living it. Thank you for choosing to be here in this moment with us, friend. We appreciate you. Pain sucks, but I perceive suffering to be a repeating loop of pain. Free will breaks the cycle. Choosing to stop suffering, right? That free will. It's kind of hilarious almost. Ryan joining us on the YouTube as well. Thank you, Brother Bay, for sharing the space. Remind yourself that what you do is enough. I get caught in expecting more of myself too. I have to stop and go to myself, tears. You are a human. It's okay to rest. Thank you for sharing that understanding, friend. How beautiful. Durban Poison and Swazi Red were the best ones we had. Do you guys still have those natural we do still have the natural land race strains, but unfortunately, even the like Swaziland, they have different genetics these days. But it's still good weed. It's not the natural slash native indigenous strains anymore. but the area in which they grow kind of causes the weed to mutate to the environment, making it a whole new thing in of itself as well. So it is happening, friend. It's beautiful. Marijuana is at least becoming very widespread here in South Africa now. Everybody is doing it. I'm folding laundry while my parrot throws it on the floor. Currently preoccupied with perceiving life through my ears and eyes and projecting it back with my heart and mind. The fact that, sure, you're seeing and feeling things with your eyes and hands, but the part of yourself that is aware of that isn't your eyes and your hands, right? If you lose your hands and your eyes, you're still very much aware. So be aware that you have eyes and hands and be grateful for them right now. Thank you, Jovan, for tuning me into that as well. I'm heading out soon, but I hope everyone enjoys all they can today. Have a good day too, Auntie. Have an amazing time at the zoo. I felt so much relief after deleting Facebook. I got to the point every time I opened and I got depressed from all the division and politics I was seeing. Fortunately, I didn't see any division or politics on my stream, on my feed, because the only person whose stuff I upvoted or commented on were like, "You are the light" type of stuff. And I was like, yeah, yeah, woo. So that's the only stuff I see. And I enjoyed that. But then I was perpetuating the loop of going back to it, and I was expecting a certain fractal of information to be represented when I go through a certain amount of finger movements. And then I was like, oh, look at this, a pattern. How about it? Stop. Stop this pattern. Free will. Thank you for doing the same, Maxine. I appreciate that, friend. For you, like, just the fact that you have that experience now in your own existence. Is that Matthias? Matthias, technically. Is the way you say it in English. Yeah, Matthias, it is a new necklace. Same crystal that I've had for a long time, but new little top piece. Dude, how are you? It's so nice to see you again, friend. Man, have you been missed? Your username came back with like young vibe. Like I felt young reading your name for some reason, like the old melt, starter melt, crazy, doesn't know what he's doing, is still extremely insecure. I'm still insecure. I don't think I'm ever gonna stop being insecure, but extremely insecure at that point, Melt. Matthias, it's so nice to have you here, friend. How are you doing with the day? Super grateful to gather with you all today. Grateful to have you here with the Ryan. How nice. Both on the YouTube and on the Reddit. I'm trying not to expect too much of new friends. Whew. Not trying to take much time of theirs also. Hello, Mel. Mm. That's difficult. That is difficult, Rye. I'm not gonna try and give you advice because it's very much one of those experiences that is extremely circumstantial, but you got this, dude. You got this. Have a good time with your new friends. Have an amazing time and safe travel. Thank you for the love. Miss Molly. Yesterday, I expected way too much of myself. I had way too many errands and personal goals I wanted to accomplish to the point of putting myself in pain. I'm still learning how to be balanced with myself and expecting action. Like, I know at least, Maxine, that you do take time for yourself as well. You know, like the amount of time you do spend projecting, creating in this outside world. I do know you do a lot of internal work, but it's because you do a lot of internal work that you become so powerful in projecting, manifesting in the external realm. It's a it's a paradox to me at this point. Like, we know that we are these beings of power beyond measure, literally, like infinities. And then we come into this realm of material, of separation, of the physical. And alongside of it, we had to accept a certain set of rules. We had to accept that we will forget. We had to accept gravity. And we had to accept the illusion of death. Is there one I'm missing? maybe accept fear. Those were like basically the prerequisites to coming here. And now, the way that we counterbalance that is again for me in three different rules. What is the meaning of life? Fantastic question, Siwin. This is a rough estimate of what I think the meaning of life is. The meaning of life to me is to love, to serve, and to remember. Love, serve, and remember. All three of those attach beautifully to this topic of expectation to me. Because we just talked about expectation in the light of not expecting. But to talk about expectation in the light of honor, in the light of responsibility, in the light of service, love, and remembrance, that you actually get to give someone something. You get to create an experience, that your dog comes to you. Like Pippi does this thing where she puts her nose underneath your hand, and then she's like, oh, wait, oh, do the thing where you do the thing. All right, so she like that's what 100% expectation. That's not only like little bit expectation. That's like I expect. I'm gonna let you know that I expect. And you cannot. I mean, I could shun her. Surely I could. But to instead of shunning her for her expectation, to see myself as the node of infinity that gets to fulfill that expectation, that gets to actually give that experience to this experiencer. How can someone get out of a loser mindset? See, Win, this might not be an answer that you like, but exercise, friend. Exercise. You know, it's it's not about looking a certain way. It's not about being a certain weight. It's just about you showing yourself that you can do something. Like you cannot convince yourself you're a loser if you did 5 push-ups today and the next day you can do 6. Because you literally won against yourself. Yesterday's version of me couldn't do what it is I'm doing right now. And that is the truth for you right now, always. Right? Yesterday's you cannot do what you're capable of right now because you know more. You've seen more things. You understand more about your life, about your reactions to life. You're constantly becoming, friend. Realize that you're not losing, you're actively winning. And that's the way that I've escaped my loser mindset, at least. I was convinced that I was just losing, that everything was out to get me. People didn't care. And then I decided, well, if people don't care, why should I? And then I realized, well, the only way that I can make care in this world, I can make love into this world, is to be it. Instead of expecting it, to be it. You got this, friend. I believe in you. All diesel strains are my favorite weed. Sour diesel? Is it sour diesel? I think sour diesel, and lemon haze were the two weed strains that I smoked first out of all of them. It's kind of crazy. I got uber zoinked. That sour diesel kept me high for 4 hours. So, I got so zoinked. And like this was before I understood how to smoke weed even. Like I thought you were just supposed to smoke a bunch of it and then you've smoked it. And that's the way that my mind was like, okay, so you smoke a bunch of weed and then you smoke weed. And I was like, okay, cool. So as the very first time that I ever smoked weed in my life, I smoked like half a joint of sour diesel weed, which is a notoriously strong strain for, avid smokers. And I got so high that the people that were there with us, the one that rolled the joint, for example, had to literally guide us back to the place that we stayed. I was like, God, I was like, what is even happening right now? I was no visuals, no dissociation, no, lack of mobility. I could still move, but I was just so enthralled There was just everything in every direction, everywhere, all the time. And I was like, oh, I don't need to be anywhere else. Why do I have to go there when I'm already here? Everything is here. What needs to. It was an experience. It was quite an experience. And I was extremely socially anxious as well because I was there with a friend, one of my mom's friends who had a daughter, and like we were friends when we were young, and then I saw her again after like 12 years, and then we smoked weed together, and it was my first time smoking weed. It was a whole experience. Ah, man, being a teenager is weird, yo. Weed is especially better with Earth running faster and all. With the Earth running faster and all. I think it is running faster, weirdly enough. Tell me more about that, though. I am Ty Lumbo. I'm curious about what you mean by that. I would say being nice and sharing is a great way to get out of the loser mindset as well. I agree. It's a daily practice. I found a mindset coach to help me. His info is free. Try Dylan James on YouTube. Thank you, Maxine, for sharing the love, friend. Are humans good or bad for Earth? It depends, friend. With everything, it depends. It depends what the humans believe about the Earth. You know, I feel human beings that see themselves as the Earth, of the Earth, like children to the Earth, are good for the Earth. I see those that, consider themselves separate from the Earth, you know, entities on the Earth, not entities of the Earth. They can be bad for the Earth. Because when you believe you're just this thing on planet Earth, it's very easy for you to just be like, oh, let me chop down this rainforest because it has wood. And the mindset, the alternative mindset of, oh, the rainforest is you chopping down, a large chunk of your lungs, doesn't really sound that great. So it's a matter of perspective, friend. I believe the humans that we have coming into the world right now are the type of humans that are going to be good for our Earth. I believe you, meta myelokite. Meta myelokitosis. Meta myokylitosis. What a username, dude. Why are you like? Why are you doing this? So I believe you, because you're willing to ask that question, are in fact one of the good humans for the Earth as well, friend. I miss the days when I first started smoking weed and would get the giggles after everything. Now it's daily sacred medicine. I mean, Maxine, if you really miss those days, they're still there for you to be had. You're just gonna have to earn them. You're gonna have to earn them by smoking less or none at all. You are gonna have to take a tea break. Oh, don't you want to take a tea break? On this October that's coming along, very very fast. It's probably gonna be here before we know it. I'm gonna take a tea break again for the whole month. I mean, I'm gonna take a substance break. I'm gonna do sober October. No nothing. No coffee. No marijuanas. I mean, I do occasional psychedelics, but not to the point where I have to be like, no psychedelics, Mel. Fortunately. So for me, it's coffee and weed. Like edibles are still weed. Coffee and weed. Yeah, I'm gonna take a little bit of a break, and then Maxine, then if you smoke again, you're like, is this weed? What did I just smoke? Runkle Schmeckums. Who's this? Who's Runkle Schmecker? I hope you're having a great day for what would be a beautiful day if it didn't have you in it. You. Thank you, Brother Bay, for making this day more beautiful for all of us. Are you gonna celebrate when you reach day 600? Leoch? I mean, every day is a celebration, right? Day 600 is going to be in like this month. I think so. It's gonna be soon, friend. I don't know if I'm gonna celebrate. I'm gonna be excited. I'm gonna be like, woo! Maybe we'll celebrate like that. Maybe we'll smoke some weed or something. Thank you for asking, friend. I hope to see you there. I don't know if you friends know, but Leoch, that's his username is spelled Leoch L, was one of the very first people to tune into my streams. He was tuning into the streams before we were streaming on the Meltmore account even. Love you, bro. So much love to you. Where are you from? I'm from South Africa. Long jump and streak. I can try no cannabis for October, but I love my morning coffee way too much. It's difficult. I know, Maxine. The coffee is the one that's like is like I'm so cool with not smoking weed for a whole month, but not drinking coffee for a whole month. That my brain is like, and it's like, yeah, oh, you're gonna have to be okay, being okay. And I'm gonna be like, no, probably complain for like the first week, and then we're gonna be like smooth sailing again. What are you talking about? A little bit of everything, all of the time. Little bit of everything, all of the time. Apathy's a tragedy and boredom is a crime. Everything and anything, all of the time. Just a little bit of everything, all of the time. Everything, all of the time. We're talking about stuff, right? Specifically today about this feeling that people, things, your pets, your plants will expect things of you. And to instead of seeing these expectations as something that is to be disdained, to be angry about, to be sad about, to see it as an opportunity for you to be the node of the universe that gets to fulfill these expectations instead of complaining about these expectations. And that's my advice to a 16-year-old friend. Also, don't do drugs. Show up for yourself. Exercise now. Start exercising now. Believe me, oh. You're gonna thank me and yourself so much if you start exercising right now. Get into a pattern. Fall in love with it. Be like, yeah, see, look at how much progress I can make. Look at how much I can take care of myself. Get into that, and then see your expectations in that way as well. Exercise, eating well, sleeping at an appropriate hour, drinking enough water as an honor. You get to honor yourself, these expectations inside of yourself. Damn it, long jumping streak. Now I want to like face the camera away for what I'm gonna do next. I'm gonna do that just because I respect you so much, little homie. That bubbling sound you heard was my instrument that I play occasionally. Yes. It makes me cough as well. Hi Mel, been a minute. You look well, friend. Pandomatics. It has been a while, friend. Thank you. Thank you. I'm feeling pretty well. I'm feeling present. I'm feeling grateful. I'm feeling blessed. And I'm trying to stay there in that feeling, right? It's very difficult to stay there, but it's possible to get there sometimes. At the top of the broadcast, you mentioned having cattle. Show us your cattle, Mel. It's not in range, unfortunately, Joy Vive. And it's technically my father's cattle. Like if they were close, if they were like in this kind of area, I'd be able to show you. But where they are, the Wi-Fi doesn't go, unfortunately. The moon, I don't know why, but the moon has been out every single day staring at me. Check this. Like it's like every single time we're streaming in this spot as well, it's just like communicating all of her energies, literally reflecting light from the sun, adding her filter, her divinity, and sending it back to me. I wonder, I wonder if she sends me power sometimes. It feels that way. Sometimes he takes it as well. Spicy. Good day. Hope your day goes well. I haven't thought of the idea of seeing the expectation of others as a blessing. It's a good one. Thanks for sharing. No way. It's no. Can't be no. Who could it be? Oh, no way. Thank you for joining me, friend. I'm happy that you appreciate that. I hope it serves you. I feel it came to me as like a, I guess, type of feeling. I guess it came to you in the same way. It doesn't make it any easier to not get caught up but it gives you at least an extra tool to work with when things come up. Man, being a human being, it's not always easy, but you friends make it a little bit easier. Advice, right? Relationship advice. Yes, I have good, like really good relationship advice for you, especially when you're 16. You ready? He's like, oh boy, don't get into a relationship. That's my advice. Oh, as a 16-year-old, don't get into a relationship right now. Not from a perspective of a relationship is not worthy of being had, but just in this time of life, a relationship is only going to complicate things for you, dude. Like, it's not gonna make anything easier. Quite the contrary. Like as a 16-year-old, that was when I got into my first relationship. And the relationship did teach me things, friend. Like a lot of things. Taught me especially how to love myself in the context of realizing that I am in fact lovable. So for that, I am grateful that I was in a relationship as a 16-year-old. But that's basically where I draw the line. All the rest of it was just extreme nonsense. Extreme nonsense, extreme anxiety, extreme separation, bouts of depression. Like it's difficult, friend, to be in a relationship as a full-fledged adult, that has their shit together. And there's no such thing actually. All of the adults in your life that have been telling you they have their shit together. Nobody has their shit together, Fred. We're all just flying through infinity at inconceivable speeds. But, but, that being said, even if you do have all of your shits together, it is still difficult to maintain a relationship. It's still difficult to be compatible. It's still difficult to know what is right. So, I would encourage you to dive deep into self, become who you are, and then when you are that version of yourself, you will attract the partner, the relationship that self is going to be worthy of. It's going to benefit from. That's my advice to you as a 16-year-old on relationships. I hope you appreciate it, friend. I hope it serves you. It's probably not going to mean much to you. You're gonna be like, na 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 na, and I know that is too. I know that as well. So, love you, friend. Thank you for asking. I appreciate that. How was the bread you made the other day, OP? It's not technically bread, brother Leoch. It's something called biscotti, of like in Afrikaans called biscuit. The English term we use in South Africa is rusks. It's like almost like a bread, but it's very dense. And after you bake it, you put it in an oven and you dry it to a crisp, and then you can dip them in coffee. So, and I didn't eat any of it because it's not for me. It was an order. But thank you for asking, friend. That one cricket is loud. He's being like, oh, nom, 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 melt is just making sounds again. I can do it too. Completely the truth. Being a human is like having a constant sober psychedelic trip. Yes, literally. Like you are ceaselessly tripping. You came here to trip the fuck out. To separate from experiencing everything to experience something. You are the something being experienced. More tools for the toolbox. That's the way, no way. We can never have enough tools, and we must introduce ourselves to all tools from time to time to stay a steady craftsmanship. That's a really good point as well, because we forget easy. Easy peasy, we forget things. Maybe we'll even do that. Like after like doing 1,000 streams, we'll start over. We'll do, the same topic we did on day one of the stream. And then we'll just loop all the way back, see who we've become 1,000 days later with the same information. I don't know if we're gonna do that, but it sounds like a thing, Well, fractal. No way longer than me or the age like me having a relationship. I'm envy, but I don't rush it. Yeah, Yeah. I'm like, for what it's worth, friend, I'm going on my fourth year of being single in my 20s. Yeah. And I'm pretty happy, actually. Sure, I would like more intimacy in my life, but I do not need it. All I need is to breathe in this moment, to be grateful for what I have around me, to notice the things I have instead of to notice the things I don't. And as long as we keep doing that, we have more than we can ever ask for, friend. I like this thought. It may serve you as well. Life may not always be easy, but it is always a blessing. I do like that, friend. Thank you for sharing it with me. I appreciate it, friend. Thank you, Long Jump. Thank you for listening, friend. Thank you for the energy, your Uncle Schmecky. Melty is so lovable. Just a mirror. Just reflecting to you what you're capable of, your humanity. Thank you for the humanity, faith in humanity restored for the day. I appreciate that. I'm 16 and I never have a friend. I'm tired socializing people. I'm I tried socializing with people, but I'm shy. What advice should you give me? Would you give me? Thanks. I would give you the advice of going to places that you enjoy going, Long Jump Street. The things that you really enjoy doing, the things that you have a passion for. Go places that people do the things that you have a passion for. And then you're going to find people there that like doing the things that you have a passion for. And then you're going to be like, oh, you have a passion for this thing? I do, in fact, have a passion for this thing. And just like that, your social anxiety will go away because you'll, instead of having to pretend to be something you're not, you'll just get to be yourself. And that's the best way to make friends, in my personal opinion, friend. Good luck. Giving you tools. Keep coming back to this space as well, friend, where we try to share good vibes in this place. I'll be celebrating my 2 year single on the 15th. Gonna be taking myself on a date. Yeah, how about that? Take yourself on a date. You can do that. You can not only take yourself on a date, but you can lay hands on yourself. Be like, Yasi, you feel good, self. I like your hair, self. I like these legs you have, self. You can say nice things to yourself. Try it. Take yourself on dates. Thank you, Maxine, for sharing that, friend. Second year of being single in my 40s. Been a dad since I was 17. Being alone does not equate to being lonely. Beautiful point. And I'm only like, what I'm thinking right now is not only the being alone, being lonely equation, but the amount of growth that you're experiencing in this time of your life, Panda. Like you having been a dad since 17, dude, that is bonkers. Like 17, I would have had a child that is 7 years old right now if I had a child since I was 17. A 7 year old child. A dude, like a straight up dude eating around. I would be a completely different person as a result of that. I would have had to think about different things as a result of that. And I believe that that was the case for you, Panda. So now, being in this state that you're in, your child is no longer in the home. You're no longer married to the partner that you had a child with. Maybe now you get to experience a part of your humanity, of yourself, that you've never had the opportunity to. So that, right, like the expectation that you have to be okay with being alone instead of seeing it as a, oh, oh no, like I don't have a wife and a kid in my house anymore, to be like, oh, I don't have a wife and a kid in my house right now. I get to experience things. I get to be a person that I've never been before. I love that. Thank you, Pando, for sharing that, friend. Be humble and being yourself in public, doing something you love, surround yourself with what you aspire to be. I'm so happy, to see the synchronicities, Uncle Becky. Beautiful. Even people in relationships, take yourselves on dates. How good is that? Actually, that you shouldn't just be expecting all the love to come from your partner, that you can still love yourself. Thank you for that encouragement as well, Siobhan. Having a good foundation on loving yourself is so important to knowing how to love others. There she says it. Yes, couldn't agree more. Why people comparing their lives in social media? I feel bad about people who get depressed and tend to compare their life on what they see on social media. It is the current mind virus we face, friend. And I feel like there's a part of me that is so happy to be wearing the exact same clothing that we started with to be using the exact same cup. Like we have a different water bottle, we have cards right now, but I hope for it to continue in this way. Like the image we're portraying is drink water and have conversations with friends. Maybe occasionally I smoke weed, but that is not my encouragement. That you can have a beautiful experience just in a conversation, drinking some water. Thank you, friend, for not comparing yourself. Hello, friends. Reporting Hi, matey. Welcome aboard. Thank you for joining us, Happy Smile Seeker. It's nice to have you here, friend. How are you doing? Melita! Melita, I don't know if you heard me talk about you. Goodness, it's so nice to have you here, friend. I appreciate you joining us. You melt into topics and just go with it until you're done melting. Yes. Who needs tears? Thank you. Thank you. That's exactly the vocabulary I was supposed to use. I love that. Ernest is here too. Shan, thank you for sending love, Ernest. Love to you. Buenos dias, mi amigos. Yay, amigas. It's like buenos dias. Hello, my dudes and dudettes, I believe, or something like that. How is Meld and the gang doing today? I feel well. How about you, Uncle Becky? How are you, brother? You're part of the gang after all. A greater deal of folks wonder where we go when we die. Should we wonder where we came from before we were born? And to realize that there is no separation. That where you go is the same place where you came from. Headed out to the zoo with the fam. Love you, Uncle Becky. Have a good time, brother bear. Getting better and thankful for any borrowed strength and inspired tea break. Love it. Love you, Natalie. Thank you, friend. I see. Okay. So it was at first a plane that had very big jet engines. Jet engines so big that I saw the jet engines first, and then I saw the shape of the plane. And then I came kind of closer to it, and it had like a background, and I was like, what is the background? And I was trying to tilt the image, and as I was tilting the image, the background was, you know that photo that we got of the black hole, the kind of like low resolution one. It was kind of that, even within like the low resolution. It wasn't that detailed, but it was like this warm glow with this blackness in the middle of it, with the plane hovering over that blackness. I don't know if that means anything to you, Natalie. I've been seeing a lot of planes lately. Jasmine joining us as well. I see you, friend. Joy V says, I've been single for 6 years and I'm finally fine with it. I used to be so pressed about finding a relationship, but I'm feeling so good being single. I don't have to ask for permission or consider anyone else in the decisions I make in my life. Ooh, you see, like that's the thing as well, Joy V, and I'm so happy that you found that as well. Like that's where I am right now. Isn't exactly that. And it scares me at times because I'm reaching a point where I do envision having a relationship at some point in my life, but I'm reaching a point where I'm no longer wanting a relationship in my life. Which is a weird juxtaposition. And I feel you might be in the same space. Like, you can see yourself being in a relationship and you can see yourself being happy in that relationship, but you can see yourself wanting to go out and do and find and seek. I mean, like, yeah, if it's gonna be, it's gonna be JV for all of us. And I believe this, and I've shared this with you friends as well. That because we as a community come together in this space, it means that we have some level of resonance with one another. So as we come together in this space, if there's anywhere you're going to be able to find a relationship, a partner that is going to love you in the way that you know love is possible, you might find them here, you know, reaching out to one of the friends in chat or something. I'm not saying that's the way it's going to happen, but that's the way it could. And I believe that we're showing up for that love, Joy Vive. And I know that you're worthy of it, even though you can be okay without it. Thank you for sharing that as well. The narwhal salute from Joe. Love to you, Brother Bear. Thank you. Jasmine is here too, saying, hello, Melton, dear friends. I do hope this day finds you all well. I love this community. I can be myself here, and I feel safe and encouraged to do so. Thank you, dear friends. Man, I'm seeing a lot of black holes today. I saw a kind of like stand. It was like opening up, closing back up, going down, and then opening back up at the bottom, for a base. And then there was like a black hole, like a crystal ball popped up to that little stand. Jasmine, thank you for being yourself, friend. Thank you for allowing me to be me too. I appreciate that so much. Miss Molly says, when I was married, I was not alone, but was very lonely for many years. This month is 16 years single. I had been alone the whole time and rarely feel lonely. When I do feel lonely, I leave my house and go see friends. It only takes one hug. It only takes one hug. Mm. And even though you said those words, the message that's coming through to me is show up. Show up. If you feel lonely, show up. That's how you stop feeling lonely. You show up for someone, you show up for love. Pando says that's when it finds you, Mel, when you stop looking. Yeah, it seems that way, Pando. I have the added caveat of being in the middle of nowhere. There's it's like no people for miles in every single direction, which also helps. When you stop wanting, you allow. There we go. When you stop wanting something, the universe doesn't have the note of information of, I don't have this thing. Like that's what wanting something sounds like to the universe. Not so much, I need to give this thing to this person. More, I don't have this thing, I don't have this thing, I don't have this thing. So the universe is like, yeah, I know. I know everything. I know you don't have the thing. But if you're tuning into the mindset of, I am allowing abundance into my life, I am abundant, so I'm allowing this abundance into my life. I'm allowing friendships into my life. I'm allowing love into my life. It's you proclaiming to the universe that there is love, and all you have to do is receive, to allow. Thank you, Maxine. Why being single is better than having a relationship? Because when you're single, friend, you have to only think for one person. When you're in a relationship, you have to think for two people. And at this point in your life, it's hard thinking for one person, as it is. Do you like having to justify all your decisions? You were talking about the relationship thing, yeah. When you're in a relationship, you have to justify a lot of things, friend. You have to make sense of things to another person who doesn't think the same way that you do. What that was the clincher for me. Totally anecdotal. I feel you, friend. Especially having a family, like then there's even more justification that you have to make. Very true. I think being single is better than being in a relationship with the wrong person. There we go. That's the fact. Yeah, Maxine knows as well. Inspire tea break. Great day memories. Green tea. Would be amazing to make an instrument out of a smoking pipe. How cool would it be though, right? And you can do both. After smoking your bong, you play a tune. I think it would be pretty cool to transition between the one into the second. What's going on? I'm sorry. Ooh, expectations. I need additional perspectives. This is the way, Natalie. This is how we get additional perspectives. Good words. Definitely makes you grow faster. Having a kid young. I can only imagine. If a few months, I have been single for 7 years, almost all of my 30s. In these 7 years, cultivating and giving myself love has been the greatest gift I have been able to give myself. And the thing that kind of breaks me in this moment is the fact that we have to have that lack, right? To have that abundance within self love. Like if it wasn't for us having the separation from a partner, we wouldn't be able to allow ourselves the depth of our own experience. I wasn't there for the first 30 ish minutes. You're here now. Thank you, Melita. It's so nice to see you, friend. I love the saying dudes and dudettes. Me too. I also like that. Eek, not weak. Too excited. Thank you, Natalie, for the love, friend. That image really resonates actually. Reality and emotions collide for me with it. Thank you, Natalie, for experiencing, friend. This is what it's about. I appreciate you being here with me. Song Great as Love by All by the Blow, by the way. I don't know All by the Blow either. Who needs tears? I'm so sorry, friend. I would like to go deeper. But I'm gonna pull as a card. Indeed. Why people tend to like me, but at the end I'm chasing them and beg them to stay in my life. That's a good question. Long jumping streak. I feel I'm the same sometimes. I was weirdly enough having that same thought when it came to relationships. You know, like for all intents and purposes, what the world has told me is desirable in a partner, I have tried to do. Especially when it comes to the physical. I have exercised myself into a stupor. I have visible abs right now. You think I'm better off for it? No, no, not even remotely. Not only do I notice when I get fat, that's the benefit. It's like, oh, visible abs must mean you get super late. No, it just means you notice when you get fat easier. That's the point, friend. Like, there is nothing for you to have. There's nothing for you to get, like, grasping, begging those people to stay. There's nothing there, friend. You're the one that is creating that attachment, creating that experience. You are. You are. It's only when, and I'm saying this knowing that you're 16. When I was 16, I tried to commit suicide, friend. So I'm trying to speak to you from a perspective of not only knowing how you must feel, but knowing that it's difficult to not feel that way. Your love, friend. Keep showing up for love. You so got this, man. You don't have to chase after people. The people that are going to end up really liking you will stay by themselves. Sofina, if you are having to justify all your decisions, you are either doing something pretty wrong or are with someone that is incompatible with you. Either they don't get you or they are a controlling person. There we go. Sofina knows. This is what we're trying to do when it comes to choosing right partners as well, Sofina. Because, and this is something I think Joe Rogan said, too many people settle for sexy. They're like, oh, I can sleep with this person. I really want to sleep with this person. Must mean this person is the person I'm supposed to sleep with. Not how it works. There's more to it. That's why if I'm sleeping with people, I have to know you. I have to know that I want to sleep with you, not to be like look at you and be like, yes. To be like, yes, this person, their essence, who they are, the depth of their experiences in their day-to-day lives, the way they pet animals. That is your essence. And if I'm going to embrace you in a sexual and intimate way, I'm going to merge with your essence. So I want to merge with good essence, right? Get yourself some good essence, friend. And don't settle. Don't settle for anything less. Also, for the partner we want to have for ourselves, what version of you does that look like? You have to become that version who knows you're worthy of such a partner. The way that I have thought about that problem, I don't think it's a problem, Maxine, but I think you would resonate with this as well, is if you want to find your ideal partner, you have to be your ideal self. As in, you have to live the life you want to live in the fullest way. You have to go to the places you want to go in the fullest way. You have to talk to the people you want to talk to in the fullest way. And as you do this, you're going to eventually find the person that you want to be with in the fullest way. So I couldn't agree more, Maxine. Thank you, friend, for showing up for yourself in that way. Talia, Talia, beloved friend. It's just so nice to see your name. Thank you for joining us. Is Sunny there with you? The older I get, I've also realized that I hate sharing my bed. I run hot, so sleeping alone is such a pleasure for me. I usually have a fan, absolutely on top of my body when I'm sleeping, and most people cannot handle that, especially feminine individuals, like you run colder usually as a base and I'm burning up basically ceaselessly, so I have to have a fan running, and I want to stay under the blankets. Like it's such a trip. There's a whole other person you have to then take into consideration. It's freaky because you really don't know people's quirks and whatnots until you're really invested. It's a catch-22, Pando. It's trippy, right? And it was so funny to me because I had this conversation with my family the other day where they told me that our youth pastor at the church is now going to marry one of the band members, you know. And I was like, "Oh, haven't they been together for like 6 months?" And they're like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "You know why people get married in 6 months when they're in church?" They're like, "No, why?" I'm like, "Because you don't allow premarital sex." I say this at the dinner table. They're like looking at me in this way. They're like, "No, that's not how it works." I'm like, "Yes." Yes, it is. The only reason you are that pressed to get married to someone when you're 24 and she is 21 is because you're somehow attached to this belief that you're not supposed to have premarital sex. And she has not, like, not that it really matters that much, but she has not worked a day in her life. She has not moved out of her mom's home a day in her life. She has not been a person in the way that you understand being a person, dealing with financial issues, having to drive yourself to work day in, day out for months, for years at a time, that mental strain, the people you have in your life causing you grief, and then coming back to a partner and how you deal with, like, there's so much stuff to being in a relationship with someone. And then getting married to someone after having been together for 6 months, moving out of your mom's home into the home of your now husband, having never worked a day of your life, having never cooked your own meals, you're literally signing yourself up for absolute pandemonia. And my dad is like, "No, you're not supposed to live with your wife before you're married to her." I'm like, "You need to 100% live with your wife before you're married to her. Otherwise, you don't know that you want to be married to her." Bando, thank you for sharing. Beauty fades, a heart lives forever. A heart is forever. That is true. Couldn't agree more, Maxine. Not only that, but for me, it's the fractal, right? Like the depth of the moment to moment, the gratitude for the moment to moment, like that gratitude meter, like that to me. I guess that's hard as well. I guess, but sleeping alone, an underrated blessing of being single, Mojo. Too real, friend. Too real. Yes, see. I am taking it for granted, but I'm aware of it as well. Well, sometimes I feel like you have to choose wrong before understanding what is choosing right for yourself. Maybe not, but it did work out for me eventually. You got this, Talia. Hold on to it. I'm happy that you found it. Trick Track joining us as well. It's nice to have you. Even Nova. So much love to you, friend. Thank you for joining us. How are you doing, Brother Bear? How's life treating you? How are you treating you? Are you drinking enough water? Drink a liter of water right now. You drink liters of water. You drink. Sleeping with someone you know and like as a person is much more passionate than sleeping with someone who is just really good looking, or that has been my personal experience. I haven't slept with enough people to know necessarily, Jasmine, but that's the way I believe it should be. Thank you, friend, for letting us know as well. Chance or take a risk. Chance isn't chance and taking a risk the exact same thing? Trick Track again. It's nice to have you. Sunny's here. He's lighting his space up. Thank you. So much love to you. I can feel it. I can feel it. Sunny, sending you good vibes too, Brother Bear. The older you get, the less you cry. Isn't that true? I don't necessarily know if it's something that's good though. It's good to cry sometimes. I'm doing okay, but I've forgotten many challenges of drinking 1 liter of water a day. I'll assume or resume it. You do it. You drink some water right now. All the time being in the space makes me happy. Love to you, Nova. The space is always open to you, friend. Do get some sleep though. Don't stay up too late. Kinko, hello to you, friends. Nice to have you. Not in my experience. Crying as a child or teen is different than crying as an adult and the struggles you face. Yeah, like crying as a child or a teen, you usually cry out of powerlessness, right? You're like, "Oh, there's nothing I can do. Nobody understands." And then, like crying as an adult is more breakdown, kind of. At least that's the way that I've interpreted it. Hydrate, homies. Yes. Drink water. Like, please, please drink a lot of water. When I was a kid, I'm so excited to be a teenager. I think it's cool, but I'm so regretting it now. I'm a teenager. I want to go back to those times that you don't think so much and don't have a problem. You just chill, watching cartoons. You still have that space within you, long jumping streak. It's still there, friend. It hasn't gone anywhere else. We're just aware, all right? You're aware of the things you're aware of, but realize that your thoughts are not you. These things you're thinking about, what's the word you used exactly? Yeah, think so much. These things you're thinking so much is not you, long jump. You're the thing behind it, the thing that's aware of it. A t- I mean, it's a leopard, basically a tiger. It's not. It's basically a tiger, right, Maxine? It's basically. Look at that thing. That thing is like. I mean, it has stripes. They look like basically. Crying as an adult is despair. Not always. You know, like I have cried a lot of times out of gratitude. You know, like overwhelming gratitude as well. But the despair is usually that. You know, like complete like separation, despair. You're right. You know, but I feel more often than not, especially these days, that when I cry like that, I'm like only I'm like being dramatic, you know, like I'm feeling sorry for myself or whatever. Chemistry does not equal compatibility. What's left after the hot bomb burn itself out? Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, that stuff burns itself out pretty quickly because human beings are very tuned into novelty. So you might be sexually attracted to a person because of their body, and maybe because of their energy in a moment, but that energy, that body could be something that you're maybe experiencing lack of in your life in that moment. And then as soon as that thing gets filled, then suddenly that energy, that lack, that polarity is gone, and now you're stuck in that situation of the hot as you mentioned, having burned itself out, and you're like, well, now we have both this wasted each other's time, and guess we're gonna have to go our separate ways. And again, not saying that that's bad. I don't necessarily think it's good, but it does make us aware. Brings us to a point of awareness. Hell, I cry at cheesy adverts sometimes. Feel it, Pando. Love yourself in that way, friend. The Secret Garden. The Secret Garden. I hope you're still here, Shannon and Nana. I think you are. I haven't seen a yay card time. Think about you, friend. I hope you're feeling a little bit better. I hope the stream has helped even a little bit. I hope you get to cry. I don't think that my crying has tampered as I've gotten older. You think it's gotten worse? Who needs tears? Imagine marrying someone and realizing after you've locked it in that you're incompatible in areas that haven't been explored but rather ignored. Sounds like a big yikes. Yes, Jovan. To like then coming to the realization, oh shit, I don't want to be with this person at all. And then my mom was at this wedding, her parents were at the wedding, her brothers were at the wedding, her family was at the wedding, my family was at the wedding. All of these people expect me. I'm a Christian boy, like I'm a youth pastor, so in the Christian community getting a divorce is like some sort of sin or something. Like, and then literally hating your life going forward because you've made a decision with a lack of information. How did Meld read that before I saw it pop up? Magic. I'm actual magic, Nova. Didn't you know this, dude? Didn't you know Meltmore is actually magic? It's called your inner child. Can I get a card pulled, Melt? I want to hear a message. This card is for you. The Secret Garden. Nova, it's been pulled, friend. I had to go to the bathroom and then I had to go and do a sangha. I cried during the yoga before stream. Were you doing the yoga with us and crying during the yoga poses, Shannon? And if you were, I would like to know what pose. I'm kind of curious about stuff like that. Apparently, our body holds certain pain in certain, places in our body. That would suck. Has gotten worse, really. Just kind of status quo. Crying no less, no more. Crying the exact necessary amount. Who needs tears? Thank you for allowing yourself to, friend. I can say that I needed a big cry yesterday. Natalie, did you allow yourself that? Yikes, I would hate to be in that situation. You know how many people are in that situation? Over millions, dude. That's why the divorce rate is something like 50%. Sounds like most of the marriages these days, unfortunately. There we go, Melita. You know, friend. I mean, I cry when I'm happy and I cry when I'm sad. I'm just a huge waterworks type of person, I guess. And let that water flow. Who needs tears? There's nothing wrong with it. I'm a crier as well. I don't cry as much anymore, which I'm curious about. But when I'm in a psychedelic experience, I cry especially while you play the kalimba. Thank you, Shannon. Man, so much love to you. How are you feeling, Meltmore? I have an extreme amount of pressure in my bladder right now. I'm like my brain and my body has been telling me, "Hey, oh, you need to go to the bathroom like 5 times a second for the last 10 minutes." It's been like the music for me. Certain songs resonate so deeply, I can't help but cry. Same, Maxine. Melt, recently I learned the way I think is called distorted think. Distorted think. I mean, maybe that would be a good type of thinking to make art with. What do you think about it, friend? You haven't seen a yay card yet because they know you're getting out the cards and actually doing card time can be in half an hour apart. I'm sorry, Sofina. You're right. You're right. I'm sorry. I get distracted. I enjoy interacting with you friends too much. So I'm like, yo, I'm gonna do thing. And then my awareness is like, you need to be aware in this moment. To damn with things, to damn with your expectations, be aware. And then I'm like, fine. And then I pay attention. And then I kind of and then my ego is like, you need to do thing. And then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do thing. And then my awareness is like, hey, oh, how about you chillax? How about you melt more a little bit? Oof, yes, music is a giant cosmos of itself. I believe music is a whole dimension that we get to be in. And when you play music with friends, you're in that dimension together. Usually, after crying, I realize I was just telling myself a particular dark story. Later, I wonder, why did I do that to myself? To feel into that depth, Mojo. I do the same thing, and I'm curious about that sometimes. I also ask myself, love to Javan, by the way. Thank you, Talia, for being sent love, Javan. What is something a person does that screams, I want attention? Fight. They fight, friend. Go pee, bro. I need to. Jasmine, I used to hate crying. Now I try to be more understanding to myself and embrace a good cry. When I usually try to follow it with a good dance session, cry plus dance, tried and happy. I usually start crying when I'm in the depth of dance. I guess that's the same for you, Jasmine. I got this super cool thing. That super cool thing. Ain't gonna tell you. Oh. The I'm not gonna tell you. So they want you to be like, oh, please tell me. Giving them more attention. I guess that's a good one. I haven't experienced that energy in a long time. Go bathroom, can't pay attention sometimes. Brain fog. Every time I cry, I feel a little bit better inside. Let that stuff out, friend. You deserve to. I saw 888, and 888 today. The numbers of abundance, friend. Never be sorry for strengthening loving connections. Never will be. Maxine, thank you for that encouragement, friend. Rewards only harvest. There we go. Yeah. Abundance. So cute somehow. Oh man, I love crying when I'm alone. Happy tears yesterday. Overwhelmed with beauty in a date with myself. It felt amazing. Whew, I got to see into the window. I don't know if that was the date you were talking about. Like Jovan shared a sunset with me. It was beautiful. You know, taking herself on a date, watching a sunset with herself. Maybe I should be more open with it to people. Like I feel we are, Joe, but we can only do that much when it comes to our expectations. Like we can be aware enough to realize people expect things of us, but we can also be aware enough to not expect things of people, right? It's difficult, but we can only do as much as they want to do with us. I know that you would like them to, Jovan, as I would like them to too, but we're doing as much as we can. The throat hurts, maybe because you're not saying out loud what needs to be said, Nova. There we go. The type of crying depends on readiness. If you're releasing the inner resistance, release the emotions that triggered the cry in the first place. If you don't release, It's painful. Thank you for sharing those words, Melita. She's pretty wise herself. You should listen to her, Nova. Speak your mind, friend. Like, I know you have a hard time saying the things that you think sometimes in the outside world. Make some music. There we go. Make some more music. I had a headache all night from crying, but I feel more reset today. Drink enough water. Replenish all of those electrolytes you lost. Thank you, Natalie, for sharing that, friend. Cry, friends. It's okay. Crying can be such a positive experience in the midst of depression, desperation. I feel like it's almost a practicing of the power, leaning into that desperation or that sadness. My music, yeah, I want to make music. Make music, Nova. Go and do it, friend. You know you got this. You just have to keep practicing. It makes me anxious when you say you have to pee, you don't go and pee. Yeah, it makes me anxious too, Joy. But here we are. Here we are. I cannot stop. Like, love is too true. Okay, I'm gonna read this and then I'm gonna end the stream. I love you, friends. Thank you for joining me. Your sacred garden is a place of shamanic journeying. Truth is the light. Love you, friend. It symbolizes a safe space from which to create a vision of your intentions and to gain a better understanding of your life experiences. Ask for guidance, and you will probably meet the spirit guide. Change something in your garden, and something will change in your life. Some sacred gardens are public, others are quite secret. You are invited to enter the secret garden through the water. Feel safety, peace, and serenity as you swim in spirals and float at the water's edge. A geometric vortex lies in a center, activating the vitality of this card. Climb out of the pool and relax with this beautiful tiger. He will protect you and guide you to your own truth. In this safe space, you can cuddle up with the tiger, empowering yourself and facilitating soul work. This message of this card, the message of this card is of safety and protection. You may be looking for reassurance that the decision you are about to make is in your best interest. You might also be asking for a friend. This card represents a protected place where you may more easily connect with your higher self and tune into the wisdom and integrity that dwells within. In this secret garden, you are safe and protected by this powerful guide. You need not let doubt and fear cloud your vision. You may be assured that you may be assured that as you calmly attend a positive result and envision the outcome is already complete, you are setting in motion the answer to your inquiry. I feel, yes. Maxine, I know you felt it as well. Shannon, I know you felt that. Melita, you too. Nova, I hope that you feel, yeah, you felt it as too. Thank you, friends. Love that card. Love you. Thank you, friends. Please go. I'm gonna go, friend. Love you, Maxine. Praying about how good my life turned out after everything I went through, all the gifts I've been blessed with, the people I've met. To have met you, Maxine, what a blessing. Thank you, friends. Thank you for meeting me in this moment, for not expecting anything of me, but for allowing me to bring that which is expected. I appreciate you, friends. Same to you. Love to you, Talia and Sunny. Thank you, friends, for joining us. I don't think any Redditor had ever had anyone pulling for them. Take it. I love you, friends. Moments. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Miss Molly. Thank you, friends. We got this. We're envisioning our futures, believing, being thankful, as if they're already come true. Knowing that that is the way that we reach that space. I love you. You look very healthy today, Mel. Squall, That's Sunny. Thank you, friend. I appreciate you saying that. Love to you too. Stay healthy. Keep exercising. Drink enough water. See you at the Sanghas. I'm gonna join you, friends, soon. Have yourself a good night. God bless. God bless to you. Thank you, friends, for joining me. See you again soon. Cheers, cheers. Cheers, cheers, cheers. I breathe the air. I'm breathing the air, friend. I'll see you at the Sangha. Love to you, friend. Okay, bye. Thank you.